Hey YouTube, it is day 10 of Vlogmas, and I am at home at the moment, but on my way to the airport. I'm going to be traveling today with my very high-spirited dog who has never flown before, so I'm quite nervous. We went through to the vet several times in preparation for trips in years past that we never ended up taking him with us. But anyway, we went to the vet. This was maybe 2, 3 years ago, and they gave me Xanax for him to take to fly with. But they said test it at home, see how he does with it. So I gave him one, and instead of give that calming effect that they were hoping it would have on him, it made him extremely hyper, and he was running up and down the stairs and jumping on the sofa and jumping off the back. I mean, he was going crazy, and it took him a long time to finally settle down. So I called the vet back and told her, now this dog is like 15 pounds, so a very, very small dog. Called the vet back, and she was shocked when I told her the reaction. She said a very small percentage of dogs have that reaction to Xanax. Typically when it would happen, it would be with a larger dog. She said with his size, that really should have completely knocked him out, but it didn't. So then she gave me phenobarbital. And phenobarbital, I believe, is used to treat epileptic seizures. And so I gave him one of those as a test at home, and it did calm him down, and he laid down, but it only calmed him for 1 hour. It was almost like you could set your watch by it. Exactly 1 hour later, he got up, he shook himself off, and he was on his way, like just like nothing. So at that time, I just gave up on traveling with him. I'm like, I'm not, really trying to try anything any stronger for him or sedate him or whatever. So I've always had to put him in boarding or have someone to keep him when I travel. But this time, I wanted to try it again. He's a couple years older. He's actually 6 years old today, so it's his birthday. And I thought I'd try it again. And I called the vet a week or so ago, told her I was going to try to travel with him and just to see if there was something else that may have come on the market, since it had been several years since I had had a conversation with her. And she said, you know what, just try over-the-counter Benadryl. So I tried the Benadryl with him, and he was a little lethargic, not for very long, but I'm just gonna try it and see how he does. So I haven't given it to him yet. I'm gonna wait till I get to the airport and see how he does. I mean, he might be fine. What typically sets him off, well, I guess I should address his issue. He has very, very severe behavioral issues where he barks when he's stimulated. And what really sets him off are other dogs. It doesn't matter what size they are, he goes crazy. His eyes gets big, and he just like, there's no pacifying him when this happens. He's uncontrollable. It's weird though, because it's not always aggression, because sometimes if he were able to get close enough to the dog, he really just wants to play with them. But there are other times where he wants to dominate them and hump them. So you just never know what he wants to do and how it's going to be received by the other dogs. So for that reason, I limit his time with other dogs just because I don't want any problems. So that's one thing that sets him off. But then there are certain people that also set him off. A lot of people he loves, he loves attention and that type of thing. So I'm just hoping for the best today. Hopefully when I come back on, I won't be telling you how we were removed from a flight or had to have an emergency landing because he was being kicked off the flight. So we will see how it goes. But I'm going to come back on when I get to the airport and give you an update on how he's doing so far. Okay, so arrived at the airport and got his ticket That was pretty uneventful. If you've never traveled with your dog, you do have to pay for their ticket, and it is about $125 each way, so it's not cheap to travel with the dog. But if you factor in the cost for a ticket or to take them to boarding, it can be cheaper depending on how long you're going to be gone. So it's actually worth it to go ahead and travel with them if you can. So I've checked in and I am sitting down, and he's been taken outside now just so that he can kind of have a little walk and everything before we go through security and before he has to go into his travel bag. So I have his travel bag, which I'm going to turn around here so that you can see.
Report any suspicious persons or unusual activity to your nearest law enforcement officer. Thank you.
So that's his travel bag, and it's got holes in it. It was actually on its side. I didn't realize it. It has holes in it so that he can see out and he can breathe. And one of the requirements for traveling with a dog in the cabin is they must be able to get in the bag, stand up in the bag, and turn around in the bag. So he is able to do all of those. So as soon as he is back in, he will be getting into the bag, and we'll be going through security. So I'll come back on and I'll actually show him when he's back in so that you can see. So far he's really nervous and he has not barked, which is a good thing. So we're just trying to tire him out, and hopefully he will be ready to go into the bag and take a little nap when he's back in. The gate now, and basically it was okay walking through. He barked a couple times. What seemed to set him off were the carts that carry people in them, and that beeping noise. So he would bark when he saw that, and some people greeted him along the way, which he really loved. And right now we're sitting at the gate, and I've got his bag open. So he's able to go in there whenever he gets ready. But right now he's just sitting and looking around, but he's very, very calm, which is a good thing. Let's just hope it continues. Sorry. Well, at least he wants to help. How you doing, buddy? If you check the happy to be out of the travel bag? Winston. What'd you think of your first flight? Winston. And as always, we thank you for choosing Southwest Airlines, and welcome to Detroit. So just waiting on my bag and out of here. Overall, he didn't do too bad. He got a little agitated at the point in which we were landing, and he started barking because he didn't know what was happening. And also there was another dog that was in front of us on the flight, and at first they didn't notice each other, but then they did, and they both got into a little shouting match, but it was all good. It didn't last long. So anyway, now I'm just waiting on my bag, and then I can get out of here. So now Winston has his coat on and he's ready to go out because it's really cold out and he's not accustomed to the cold weather. So he's got his jacket on, so he's ready to brave the cold. Right, Winnie? Too much going on for him to pay attention to.
5 6 of your oversized belt located on the back wall next to the bar. You need an assistance to break your line back to the behind, there's a 5 on the back wall. Also, an ask because you serve your day. Look forward to service together. Your next American on travel.
Okay. Come to arrival.